Welcome back. Glad you can join us today. We're in the third module of a series we're calling Business Mastery. I'm Rich Allen. I'm your business coach today. Glad you could join us. Today we're going to be talking about one of the 4 fundamental mastery categories that you've got to get nailed down in your business. Today's topic, delivery. How we deliver on the promise that we make to people when we make the sale is a critical success factor for any of us in business. In your business, in my business, anywhere you think about, where the rubber meets the road is whether we can deliver on the promise that we made when we were so excited about making the sale. You know, it's a lot like dating. When you're dating someone, you're putting your best foot forward. You're opening the door for your date. You're bringing flowers. You're writing nice love notes. You're doing all the stuff that someone might expect from you because you want to put your best foot forward. You want to really look good. It's the same way we do it in business, right? When we're talking to a prospect, and we're talking to them about what our product can do or what our services will provide to them, we don't downplay it. We don't make it sound like it's less than desirable. No, we make it sound like it's the best decision they could ever make. And then, once they say yes and we start to do business with them, now we've got to deliver on that. Our burger's got to taste as good as we claimed it was. Our cleaning detergent has to be as effective and efficient as we claimed it was. Our plumbing service has to be as neat and on time and clean and efficient as we declared it to be. How we deliver on our promise is critical. So before we start to get into any of the more sophisticated tactics on how to grow your business or how to make your business really profitable and really shine, we got to make sure we get the fundamentals down. So delivery mastery is one of the keys that we have to have in place. Now, when I think about delivery mastery, one word comes to mind to me, and it's this: consistency. Consistency. We've got to deliver the same level of outstanding performance to our customers, whether it's Monday morning at 8 o'clock or Friday afternoon at 4:55, just before we're about to close. We have to give them the same level of attention. We have to treat them just as excitedly as we would any other time of the week or of the day. We have to be consistent. And there are a couple things we have to do with that. One, we have to be able to be repeatable so that no matter whether I'm the first, second, third, or whether I'm the 10th, the 15th, or the 100th client of the day, I've got to go through the same process. I've got to be able to deliver that same level of energy, excitement. So I've got to be able to make sure that my systems are repeatable so that they don't wear down over time. So that as the day wears on, I don't start dragging and start falling apart. I've got to be repeatable. And I've got to have certainty. The customer has got to know that when they walk through your doors, that they are going to be greeted in a certain way, that they are going to receive the kind of attention and treatment that you expect that they expect from you, and that you told them to expect. So consistency, as played out through repeatability and certainty to the customer, is one of the things that you want to do every day. All day with your customers. Now, how do you do that? So how do we make this happen? This isn't difficult, but you do have to pay attention to it. There are a few things that we have to do. And I've put just a few of them here to help you kind of guide you along on that road to delivery mastery. The first thing I'd suggest for you is set clear expectations for your team on what you demand. You need to make sure that your team knows exactly what you expect of them when a customer approaches. If you haven't clearly told them what to do and how to do it, how would you expect that they'd ever get it right? You know, it's interesting because I use a good example of this is McDonald's. McDonald's runs a billion-dollar corporation, multi-billion-dollar corporation, using 16-year-olds that you or I can't get to clean up their own room at night. Now, how can they do that? Well, they set the expectations. Did you know that they have some 25 or so performance standards for greeting a customer at the counter at McDonald's? 25. And you thought it might have just been 1 or 2. But they have 25 very specific expectations that they expect their folks to deliver on when somebody walks up to the counter. How many do you have when somebody walks into your office? What are the expectations that you've set for your team when a customer calls you on the phone? Or when you see them in your shop or in your showroom? What are the expectations you've set? If you, the business owner, haven't set the expectations, then there's no way that you can hold your folks accountable to doing the right thing. You've got to do the right thing first. Set the expectation. Secondly, I'd suggest to you, use scripts. Now, I know as soon as I say the word scripts, your mind goes to a lot of different things. And particularly for people that have had anything to do with sales, it's almost like a 4-letter word. The idea of using a script tends to make you feel like it's going to be robotic, like it's going to be really, just kind of stodgy. But the reality is, think about this. Whether somebody's on Broadway doing a play, or somebody's in a television show, or they're doing a full feature-length movie, not one person does that without following precisely a script that's been written for them. The only difference between them and you is that they've rehearsed their script so completely that they can deliver that script with emotion, with passion, with flair, and enthusiasm. So first, write the script. What do you want people to say? And then let them rehearse. Let them role play with you until they get down to where the script doesn't look scripted. The script looks so natural that you would think that it's just the way that they're doing business. It's the way Disney does their business in their entertainment, in their theme parks. Everybody there is running through a character role. Why shouldn't your people do the same thing? Your team needs to use scripts. Have checklists. This is a very simple way. If you want to get repeatability and reliability into your delivery, have checklists so that people, as your team are going through their exercise of delivering on the promise to their customer, that they can check off the boxes that I've done these kinds of things. Right? We expect it of airline pilots. When we board an airplane, we hope that they're going through a checklist that says, I'm going to do all these things so that the delivery performance they can get for us is that they can get us to our destination on time and safely. And so we expect them to do it. Well, guess what? They do it through checklists. Where are the checklists in your business? If you don't have checklists for every function and activity that goes on, here's a way to do that, to make sure that you're giving delivery mastery to your customers. One last thought I'll give you here. Flow charts. There are some people on our team who are very visual. They need to see how things move, how things connect one to the other. A great way to do that is to build a flow chart of the activity as a customer walks in, the processes they go through until they walk out the end totally satisfied with their engagement with you. Make sure that you've flow charted your activities. I can tell you, if you do this last activity, if you do your flow charting on your business, I guarantee you're going to find places in your flow where you will either find bottlenecks or delays, both of which that are either costing you time or money. And so it'll be a great way for you to be able to streamline and give better service to your customers if you simply flow chart your activity. So these are things that you might certainly think about or ask yourself, am I doing these so that I can have delivery mastery in my business. Now, one of the things that comes along with being good at delivering is to be easy to buy from, easy to do business with. Everybody wants to do business with those businesses that are easy to do business with. So you should be easy to buy from and easy to engage with. Here's a few good examples or ideas that you might find beneficial. One, have established greetings. How are people going to answer the phone in your business? Do you have that defined? Is that written out? How are you going to address somebody when they walk into your showroom or walk into your office? What's the greeting that they're going to get that is uniquely yours to your business? You should have one. It helps brand you, and it helps make sure that the customer feels like they're important, they're lifted up because of the greeting that they get. Secondly, if you want to be easy to buy from, then you need to make sure that your team is focused on that customer when they come into their site. They've got to focus 100% of their effort on that customer at that moment so that they can listen, they can be actively engaged, so they can understand the issue or the need that they have and fulfill it completely. No one likes to deal with someone who's trying to multitask while I'm conducting business with you. If I were doing something else, if I were answering a text or answering an email while I was doing this video, you wouldn't stay very well engaged. I've got to be connected to you. I've got to focus, just as you need your team to focus on the customer when they come into their line of sight. Whether it's on the phone, whether it's in person, whether it's on the web. Doesn't matter. Focus. Critical part. Lastly, it's pretty important. You need to follow up. There's always an opportunity to follow up after a transaction or a sale or a delivery of a product or a service. If you're not doing an active follow-up, if you don't have it scripted into your activity so that you're doing a natural follow-up every time you're interacting with your customers, your clients, you're missing a huge opportunity. And I'm going to show you why. Here's why. How do you know if you're doing a good job at delivering your service or your product to your customer? How do you know? Unless you're doing follow-up, there's no way you know. You're just hoping. And you're just hoping that they aren't getting treated better somewhere else, or that your service is exactly what they wanted. You've got to follow up. Here's an interesting statistic. I put the number on the chart here, 68%. 68%. What that number represents is the percentage of people that leave you as a customer and go to your competitors for the single reason that they perceive that you don't care. Isn't that interesting? 68% of all people who shift from one company or one service to another, one product to another, one business to another, one church to another, they move from one place to another. The majority of the time, the reason they've done it is because they don't think you really care. It's perceived indifference. It's not price. It's not quality. It's not timeliness. It's perceived indifference. People like to be loved. They like to be recognized. They like to be acknowledged. They like to be appreciated. You've got to show that you love your customers, that you appreciate your customers, and acknowledge the what they do for you as a business and what they do for you as an individual. That you love having them. Here's a huge opportunity, and all you simply have to do is ask. You simply need to have a system in place in your business to ask them, how'd it go? How'd we make you feel? How satisfied were you with the service that you received? How pleased are you with the product? Is it doing what we said it would do? Ask them. Do a survey if you need to. Pick up the phone and ask them. Have a set 3 questions that you ask every customer There are 100 different ways to do this, but you simply need to ask. Because there's a huge opportunity here where people are shifting from one place to another in search of someone who really cares. Why isn't that you? In Delivery Mastery, it is you. And that's why we need to get this nailed down right now today. So I've got 2 questions for you. This is one I want you to take a pause at the end of this video, and I want you to, your homework assignment is to do just this. I want you to identify 3 areas where you're inconsistent in your delivery right now today. If you pause and think about this won't be hard to identify. 3 areas of delivery where you're inconsistent, where you sometimes get it right, but sometimes don't. What are they? Write them down. What are the big 3? You may have a multitude of reasons why your delivery isn't totally buttoned up and totally up to par. We're not going to worry about all of them right now. Let's pick the big 3. Identify those 3, take a pause, and pick out those 3. And then right next to those, as you list the 3, I want you to document, what will I do about that right now? What can I do to shore that up right now, today, this week? As I'm thinking about Delivery Mastery, what can I do to button up the top 3 issues? Do I have to explain my expectations to my team? Do I need to build some scripts? Do I need to put together a checklist so we don't miss any critical steps? Do I need to lay out a flow chart? What do I need to do? Do I need to put in place a feedback process for my customers so that I can know how they're feeling about how we're treating them? What is it that you need to do to attack these 3 questions? You see, this is pretty fundamental. And we're about to move into some of the more sexy, exciting, interesting ways to grow your business. We've got hundreds of methods, hundreds of concepts and ideas and strategies for you to grow your leads and help convert more people and give them bang up service. But you got to get the fundamentals right before we move on. That's what this week's all about. That's what this course is all about. So take some time before you get done. Nail these 3 down. Figure out what it is you're going to do to make it better. Make it incrementally better this week, right now, today. And then we'll be ready to start heading into the more sophisticated activities. I hope this has been a helpful session to you. We've got one more in this series. We're going to be talking about Destination Mastery next. But let's get this done first, and then we'll move on. I'm Rich Allen, your coach. I hope this has been helpful today. Give me some feedback if you'd like. Always love to hear it. I love to get delivery feedback back from you, my client. So please don't hesitate to give it to me. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll look forward to seeing you at the next session.